When you think about Canadians, you might ask yourself, why are we the way we are? Well, the answer is laying right under our feet, literally. Fact is, it's this land that shapes us. There's a reason why we run off the dock instead of tippy-toe in. It's because that water is frozen 6 months a year. And that frozen water brought on a sport that we can call our own. This land is unlike any other. We have more square feet of awesomeness per person than any other nation on Earth. It's why we flock towards lakes, mountains, forests, rivers, and streams. We know we have the best backyard in the world, and we get out there every chance we get. Because it's not just the great outdoors we're chasing, it's freedom. And this place gives it to us at every turn. Here, we're free to chill out, free to unwind, and free to wind up. There's a beer that comes from the same land we let loose on, and it's brewed to be as clean, crisp, and fresh as the country it comes from. So here's to everything this land gives us. Molson Canadian, made from Canada.
Some people might say, what a great way to promote beer for all the seasons, or makes me want to crack a cold one. Or the most common reaction, wow, this is so Canadian. But does this really represent a Canadian? A Canadian can be displayed in unlimited ways, but have you noticed how all the individuals in this ad are white? Canada is a country that supports multiculturalism, but one of the most important aspects of our country is how the First Nations helped to develop its character. So why aren't we incorporating this aspect into one of the most persuasive ways, through social media and TV? Within the first 10 seconds of this ad, the mention of the land becomes repetitive, yet only white people are featured. This video portrays that the white population are the assertive group within Canada, with no display of any other nationalities or cultures. This silences the First Nations. The land that beholds this beautiful country of Canada came to be through a series of signed treaties between First Nations and the Europeans. Treaties are agreements which are designed to provide common framework for peace between First Nations and settlers, otherwise known as Europeans. We are all treaty people. Treaties provide the right to one's own religion, to share the land, right to agriculture and economic activities, to political self-determination, and most of all, to peace. And now we face problems with First Nation sovereignty. First Nations are one of the most important aspects of Canada, yet where is their appreciation and appearance in commercials such as these, where the land of Canada is a main topic? If the commercial is talking about the different sites of Canada, why isn't a reserve featured? The land that they speak of is protected by those numbered treaties. Treaty land is an important aspect to Canada because it made an opportunity to build a home and a life presentable to all. First Nations' rights to the land would be protected under the Crown, as new settlers would be able to use this land for farming purposes without First Nations giving up the title to their land or any land rights. As well, First Nations had the assumptions that their religion and culture would be protected and could be kept alive, thus avoiding the assimilation as the new settlers arrived in the country. But could you gather any of this history from the ad? The answer is most likely no. We must educate one another on what it means to be a treaty person, as right now, in this moment, you could be standing on treaty land and have no idea what that actually means. And we must stop these ridiculous commercials that don't acknowledge the important religions in Canada, such as First Nations. Just because you are on the land of Canada does not mean you understand how it came to be. The inclusion of First Nations into commercials relays not only their intent to not be assimilated, but gives them a key role in their presence in the Canadian society that has been created.